Listen carefully. What I am about to show you will change your life forever. My name is Brian, and I am about to reveal a 3-second innocent conversation trick that will make any man of your choice find you so irresistible that if he had to choose between you and a Victoria's Secret supermodel, he'd happily pick you. So utterly tempting that he'll secretly fantasize about you every minute of every day. And so deliciously charming that he'll drop to his knees and cry with attraction. This is a hot new discovery that is so laughably easy that it won't take you more than 3 seconds to use. And here is the best part. This works even better on that specific man who has been ignoring you for ages, has left you for another woman, or just can't get attracted to you no matter what. I am really not kidding. He might have even flat out rejected you moments ago. I still dare you to casually use this magical 3-second innocent conversation trick on him just once and notice how he suddenly turns deeply, utterly, and insanely crazy about you. There is a big reason why this is proven to work. You know how your mouth naturally salivates every time you see a box of delicious-looking chocolates? This innocent conversation trick has the same effect on a man's senses, and it causes his entire body to instantly salivate with a strong feeling of impulsive love. In short, this causes a man's body to generate the exact same feelings that are produced when he's impulsively obsessed or addicted to a certain woman, which means that if you're single, you'll turn heads and get asked out all day, every day. That man who has fallen out of love will now happily confess that you're the most devastatingly beautiful woman he's ever seen, even if he has seen you 1,000 times before. That unsure commitment-phobic guy will now want to marry you more than he has ever wanted anything in his life. And that special man you lost to another woman won't be able to eat, sleep, or function, and will crave to get you back like he craves his next breath, even if it's been a long time since the breakup. Why am I so sure that this works? Well, because not so long ago, this 3-second conversation trick was used on me. Here's the story. Although this is really disturbing and shameful when I think about it now, but only a short time ago I was accused of being just too good with women, and honestly, I love to love different women. Although I often had dozens upon dozens of truly gorgeous women offering themselves to me on a silver platter, I never invited any of them further than the front door, emotionally speaking. In my eyes, no woman was ever good enough for my heart. To be blunt about it, turning down women gave me an almost evil sense of pleasure. But all that changed one fateful day when I had the strangest encounter of my life. I was invited to a wine tasting event by a close friend, but honestly, I went there more for the ladies than the wine. Within the very first few minutes, I was having a wonderful time. Wine flowed, and so did the glamorous women around my table, one after the next. Just then, a gentle voice came from my right. "You look like Brad Pitt, but sexier." "Hi, I am Sharon, by the way. Nice to meet you." I gently turned my head, expecting to see an exquisite goddess with mouth-watering beauty. But as my eyes examined her, I quickly realized that she wasn't worth a second look. She was just average in an average sort of a way. I mean, I was surrounded by incredibly gorgeous women with deliciously tempting bodies at that moment. So I greeted Sharon with a lot of awkwardness, and cleverly shifted myself to another table by telling her that I needed to get back to my friends. An hour passed by, and as I looked over my shoulder, I saw Sharon gazing at me with an intense and a slightly amused expression. Just then, she did something that completely blew me away and then innocently walked over to another table. I can't explain it, but it was giving me a warm, pleasant feeling. I looked at her for a long time, but couldn't understand why I kept looking at her. I tried to avoid her gaze, but just couldn't get myself to look away, and exactly then, I felt like her eyes were speaking to me, calling me, inviting me. Something was pulling me to her so irresistibly that I literally flew over to her table. We talked a little, and suddenly I couldn't hear or feel anything around me because now I was completely lost in her. It was getting harder to remember why I didn't like her that much because now I was completely incapable of resisting her. Hearing her wonderfully soft voice left me deeply mesmerized. Just looking at how beautifully her innocent lips moved left me wanting more and more. I loved the way her scarlet red hair fell gently over her face, and watching her innocently tilt her head from side to side was making all kinds of beautiful sensations swirl in my stomach. Then, as the evening came to an end, she softly kissed me on the cheek, and it damn near knocked me breathless and left me paralyzed with pleasure. I literally couldn't move an inch, so I just sat down and creepily watched her go, reeling with hunger, wanting more and more of her. On my ride back home, I found myself trying to relive the entire encounter moment by moment. Every feature of her delicate face, her voice, her every expression was now deeply locked in my memory. And over the next few days, I couldn't stop thinking about her, about the wonderful things she said, about the way her eyes looked at me, about the way she made me feel. Everything. Now, spending time with her was like magic, and being away from her was like being short of breath. It was punishment. I literally went deaf and blind to other women because now, no other woman's eyes were ever as captivating. No one else's touch was ever as exciting. No other smile was ever as beautifully hypnotic as Sharon's. I didn't get butterflies anymore around other women, even when it was the same women that I lusted after in the past. But whenever I thought about Sharon, it felt like a million feelings suddenly came alive inside me. And I needed her badly. I needed her more than I could ever remember needing anything. And that's when it finally hit me. I had fallen for her. Hard. Very, very hard. In these weeks, watching, listening, and learning about her, my heart knew something that my mind ignored for so long. I could call it love, but it was more. A lot more. And this is where everything turned upside down. One evening, while showing me pictures on her phone, Sharon lovingly held onto my arm and snuggled up next to me. I got a feel of her soft skin and the warmth of her body, and suddenly, I just couldn't resist it. I didn't have the willpower to stop myself. My eyes focused on her lips. They looked soft, sensuous, inviting. I knew I was taking a chance, but I gently pressed my lips against hers. She kissed me back like she was starving for my kiss, and then I was in total heaven. As the moments passed, neither one of us felt like we wanted to let go. But I gently broke free from the kiss, moved close to her ear, and said, "There is something about you that draws me into you. I can hardly hold myself back now. I don't know how to say this, but I want you in my life forever and ever." We spent the next few moments lovingly staring at each other, holding one another and just talking about everything close to our hearts. Just then I jokingly asked, "I feel like you have me under this deep romantic spell. It's truly magical. Why am I so intoxicated with you? How do you do it?" Although I was trying to jokingly tease her, but what she told me next was the biggest surprise of my life. She said, "I used an innocent nonverbal conversation trick on you involving body language. I never told you what I did for a living, but I am a 3-second body language coach." "What do you mean by 3 seconds?" I asked. She then said, "I teach women the subtle secrets of getting any man to fall for them by using 3-second body language moves." And then she pulled out her secret workbook. I casually glanced over it, and within minutes, I experienced a mental orgasm. I know that sounds a little inappropriate, but this is really the only way I can reasonably describe what happened. "Oh my God, Sharon," I shouted. "This stuff is exactly what every man wants really deep down inside his soul, but practically never gets." But now I got incredibly curious and wanted to know how she learned all this. Sharon told me that many years ago, she saw a close friend of hers who was an experienced body language expert do something absolutely astonishing. They were at a public gathering, and this friend asked Sharon to point at the most handsome guy around. Then her friend looked at that specific guy just once, and almost instantly he approached her as if something was magnetically pulling him towards her. And within seconds, compliments started flying as he said, "Your eyes are breathtaking. You're beyond beautiful. You have such a mesmerizing smile." And he acted like a love-struck teenager who couldn't have enough of her. It happened with one man, then another, and now men buzzed around her like flies. Sharon's friend had this special way with men. It was completely effortless. She didn't even try, and almost any guy she wanted willingly fell into her lap. Sharon was beyond shocked and couldn't get her head around what she just saw. I mean, it wasn't like her friend was the most gorgeous woman out there. In fact, she was far from it. She was well into her late 50s. So Sharon bluntly asked her and said, "You're barely speaking to these men, but why are they all suddenly going goo goo gaga after you?" "Who says I am not speaking to them?" her friend said. "I am speaking to them using secret body language moves." In short, her friend was hypnotizing them with her body language. This friend then explained that the human brain has something called the limbic system. It creates our emotions and controls the degree and intensity of our feelings. And this limbic system can only be stimulated using subtle body language cues and moves because it is blind to words. It's simple genetics. You know how men are genetically wired to feel turned down when they see a sexual image? Similarly, if you display any of these body language moves, a man's limbic system will immediately leave him emotionally turned on, and he will feel a strong hormonal surge of impulsive desire for you. Feeling absolutely blown away by this discovery, Sharon decided to do something interesting. She went on a date the very next day, and within the first 3 minutes, she used the hypnotic stop, stare, stop move on her date. And suddenly this man's breathing turned short and sharp, and he had this unmistakable look of longing and affection on his face. He kept complimenting Sharon over and over. He loved the way she dressed, the way she talked, and even said that she has the most seductive smile he's ever seen. Then leaned close to her and said, "Honestly, I've never felt such a strong connection to another woman in all my life. There was something about you that is causing my heart to beat wildly. You're the most tempting woman I've ever met." Seeing how easy and effortless this was, Sharon did even more research and learned that this all happens at a very unconscious level. The guy won't have the slightest of clues why his heart is suddenly racing or why he's feeling weak in the knees. These magical body language moves are invisible to the naked eye, but the unconscious mind instantly picks up on these subtle body language cues. This then causes an instant chemical shift in a man's body, where he'll feel a quiet desperation to reach you, possess you, and chase after you. This excited Sharon so much that she turned this from a hobby into a full-time profession. After about 4 years of studying all this, she carefully took notes, wrote day and night, and finally had a complete guidebook of these body language moves that she named Hypnotic Body Language Moves. Very soon, Sharon turned into a celebrity among her friends and peers, but it also sort of made everyone jealous and ticked off. Jealous because they knew that Sharon had this magical power that attracted men to her like bees to honey. But they couldn't figure it out for themselves. One afternoon, Sharon was hanging out for coffee with her friend Krista. Krista looked restless, almost like a wounded insect taking its last breaths. "I'll never be loved and I'll always be alone," she kept crying out. Krista's boyfriend of 2 years had suddenly told her that she doesn't excite him anymore, and he wanted to take a break from the relationship. Seeing this, Sharon just couldn't let her friend suffer, and in the process, she shared something called the touch-a-me move with her. That very evening, Krista's boyfriend very emotionally confessed, "What you did today has completely taken me over. You are so perfect for me, so special to me, and the best thing to ever happen to me. And I'll never let you go. I've never said this before, but thank you." This event got into the gossip circle, and suddenly all her other friends, and even friends of friends, were asking her to share these secrets. Sharon shared her Lips of Glory move with another friend named Angela, who went from one heartbreaking rejection to the next, because every man just treated her as a casual fling and nothing more. After casually using this move for the first time ever, a man told Angela, "This is not something that happens often, at least not to me. But I've got to tell you that I've been feeling butterflies in my stomach since the time I saw you. You're very special to me." Sharon shared her loving gorilla move with another friend named Susan, who was neck deep in love with a player. There were days when Susan would spend hours doing her hair, makeup, and picking out a sexy outfit in hopes that he would notice, but he would walk right past her as if she was almost invisible. After using the loving gorilla move, this same man suddenly hugged Susan from behind and whispered, I just want to be locked in a room with you and throw the key away. I cannot hide my feelings from you anymore. You excite me in ways I never even knew existed." At this point, Sharon had helped more than 150 women from all walks of life, ranging from 18 to 80 years old, and had a huge list of women waiting for one-on-one coaching. But she quickly realized that she didn't have enough hours in a day to help everyone, even though she was desperate to do just that. So after a lot of thinking and racking up her brain day and night, she finally had a solution. Over the last 417 days, she has been working day and night on something that will be the most valuable course you'll ever get your hands on. Introducing the Hypnotic Body Language Moves online course. And since you're here viewing this video, you have a very rare opportunity to get your hands on this course right now. These hypnotic moves are so exciting and easy to learn that you'll be able to watch, absorb, and use them in just a few minutes from now. You might be single, married, or in a complicated relationship. You could be 18 or 80 years old. It doesn't really matter. Just casually use these hypnotic moves, and with just one stare, you will make that one special man feel enchanted like a cobra under a snake charmer's spell. Prepare yourself, because here is a tiny sample of what you're about to discover. Do you know about the playful head bob that will make any man crave you like a chocoholic craves dessert? This involves artistically tilting your head, which sends a suggestive signal to his animal brain. Just use this move once and he'll turn into a love-starved, attention-hungry fool who'll just want to throw himself into your arms and never ever let go. Do you know just by delicately brushing his arm, shoulder, or face, you can make him feel total ecstasy? I call it the touch-a-touch-a-me move, and it makes a man feel like 100 firecrackers have gone off inside him all at once. Now he'll crave your nearness so much that he'll wish to lovingly cuddle you from morning till night. Next, I'll give you the Lips of Glory move. This involves adding a spicy twist to the way you speak. That'll leave every man so obsessed that he'll spend hours just looking at you with intense obsession, eagerness, and hunger. This subtle facial expression will make you so deliciously appealing in his eyes that if he had to choose between you and a Victoria's Secret supermodel, he'll happily pick you. I'll also give you the Eye of the Charmer move. This awakens a possessive primal feeling of desire in every man that innocently teases his mind and sends a signal from you which says, "I know you want me as much as I want you. Come get me now." And within seconds, his palms will sweat and his nerves will buzz with so much excitement that he'll want to kiss the life out of you. Do you know a secretly appealing way to sit? A hush-hush way to cross your legs? And an interestingly mystical way to place your hands that can send any man over the edge with obsessive desire for you? I call it the ultimate hypnotic posture. Try this just once and every man will feast his eyes on you and find you indefinably charming and attractive. Do you know about the Stop, Stare, Stop move? Use this once on any man of your choice and he'll feel such a burning connection with you that he'll tell you that you're the woman he's been unconsciously searching for his whole life. Now he'll experience this irresistible force to capture you and tell you how you're his future, his goal, his only passion, and his only thought. Ever heard about the Peak of Passion move? Do you know that by innocently staring at 3 specific places on a man's face and body, you can make his mind crave you, his body desire you, and have his heart need you like his life depends on it? These innocent stares leisurely play on his senses, which make him obsessed to see you, smell you, hear you, and lovingly touch you all day long. Stuck with a guy who can't see you as anything more than a casual fling? Discover the We're So Groovy move. This triggers the biological male need of pair bonding that'll make him look at you as someone he's meant to be with. Now, anytime you touch him, he'll imagine you as his soulmate, his wife, the mother of his future children, and someone that he's going to spend the rest of his life with. Next, I'll show you Voice of the Temptress move. Just make a simple 3-second shift to the rhythm of your voice. And now every word out of your mouth will be like a drug to a man's senses, intoxicating and very addictive. He'll soon be so addicted that his fingers will constantly hover over his phone to call you. And even the sound of a simple hello from you will cause his heart to beat dangerously fast. Have you ever tried the mesmeric smile? This instantly puts a man in this impulsive trance where he'll feel an irresistible force to rush to your side, grab you, and steal you from the world. Now he'll look for excuses to be near you, and will keep wishing that your conversations never end because watching you smile will be nothing short of being in heaven for him. Ever heard of the come hither move? Use this on that one special man who appears a little too out of reach, and watch how he feels drawn to you in a way he won't even be able to explain, almost like a super magnet. This activates his primitive instincts to claim you fast, hard, and right now, and will desire you like a drug addict desires cocaine. Do you know about this sticky move? Just lean in towards a man at a certain angle, and you will stick in his mind like a tune that never goes away. His craving for you will increase day by day, to the point that he'll forget every other woman, and will want to throw himself into your arms and curl around you as if he's scared that someone might steal you away from him. The loving gorilla move will leave him maddened and completely obsessed with loving hunger for you. This is inspired by the animal kingdom, but works even better on men, especially that man who has fallen out of love with you. Now he will never get enough of your eyes, your face, your hair, and every inch of your body. He'll find you so unbearably sensual, so seductive, that it'll drive him absolutely nuts. And if that's not enough, you can even use the perfect fit move on him and he'll happily confess that you're his biggest addiction. Now he'll naturally do everything to please you. He'll surprise you with nice candlelight dinners at classy restaurants. He'll leave flowers by your bedside and will treat you like his ultimate princess. In fact, you'll see him giving you compliment after compliment all day long. I can keep talking for another 5 hours, but that still won't be enough to cover every amazing thing that you'll learn in this course. So now the question is, are you ready? Are you ready to use these hypnotic moves on that one special man and turn into his ultimate obsession? Are you ready to see him so consumed with your eyes, your smile, and your touch that he would hunger for you all day and night? You don't know this yet, but Sharon charges upwards of $300 per hour for every private client, and it takes her numerous sessions to teach her clients all these moves. But she wanted to make this more accessible for regular hard-working women, so her first decision was to price this at $300. But as an introductory experiment and for a very short amount of time, I've convinced her to do something that might cause her clients to be extremely furious. Because you won't have to shell out even a fraction of what they had to pay to learn these hypnotic moves. Here is what I mean. Sharon and I have decided that you aren't going to pay $300 for this program. You aren't even going to pay $200. In fact, as crazy as this sounds, you can have the complete hypnotic body language moves course right now for only $97. But wait, if you promise to act right now, which means by the end of this very video, I'll knock off another 60% and you can have the whole course for a one-time only payment of just $39. Yes, that's correct. You get it all for a one-time payment of only $39. You save $261 from the original $300 price tag, and that's a colossal 87% discount. But wait, this discount isn't going to stay forever. You see, Sharon just can't afford to keep this live forever, because she is giving you everything for a fraction of the price other women had to pay. So this is a part of an introductory offer for the first few women only. It's possible that you might come back after a few hours and find that the price has gone up to $300 or worse. It's possible that we might shut down access to this course soon, maybe even today. We just can't promise anything. So act now or you might miss your one and only chance forever. I know this sounds like an incredible deal, but Sharon wants to make this even easier. She wants you to invest in this program stress-free and with a feeling that you made the right choice. Here is what I mean. Download the Hypnotic Body Language Moves program right now and just casually look over the fun, simple, and ridiculously effective 3-second hypnotic moves. Experience in real time how any and every man feels completely mesmerized by your eyes, smitten by your voice, and fascinated by the way you walk to the point that his heart won't stop racing whenever you're around. If over the next 60 days you don't notice that any man you point a finger at feels so tempted that he turns into a kid trying to impress his first crush, or you don't like this program for any reason, although I can almost guarantee that is truly impossible, You can just send us an email and we'll happily return every single penny you invested in this course. You must be thinking, why are we being so generous? That's because Sharon values your goodwill more than she values the money. She knows that the moment you apply even one of these hypnotic moves, you'll be so thrilled that you will happily admit that this was the best investment you've ever made. And it doesn't stop there. Let me sweeten the deal even more. If you promise to order hypnotic body language moves by the end of this very video, then I'll throw in 3 super bonuses. First, I'd like to give you the Hypnotic Lines of Love report, which is $37 in value. Here, you'll discover how to use emotion-producing hypnotic lines that leave a man so maddeningly in love with you that he won't be able to ignore you for even an hour. So mad that he'll keep saying "I love you" until your cheeks turn red with blushing. These lines leave him so hypnotized with love that between fantasizing about you, talking to you, and being with you, he won't do too much more. Next, you'll get the Mental Obsession report worth $37 in value once again. Here, I'll reveal the secret of the caveman brain that instantly makes a man convince himself that you are the one he's meant to share his life with. Now he will be so sure about you that he will be ready to give himself completely to you, even if it's the same man who was never going to marry you. And finally, you'll get the Read His Body report worth $37 in value as well. Do you know what it means when a man has his body slightly tilted away from you when he talks? Do you know what it means if he touches his throat while looking at you? This report reveals how to read a man's body like a book. Now you'll know exactly what he is thinking even before he utters a single word. And you will even be able to predict his next move with pinpoint accuracy. Good enough? Okay, so now it's time to add it all up. You're getting the main Hypnotic Body Language Moves program worth $300. On top of that, you're getting the Hypnotic Lines of Love program, along with the Mental Obsession and the Read His Body report, which come to a total of $111 for these 3 reports. If you add up the main program and the bonuses, you're getting almost $411 worth of products for a one-time only investment of $39. That is a massive 91% discount, and you're saving a colossal $372. So here's what you need to do now. Simply click the Add to Cart button below, and we'll guide you through the whole checkout process. We accept credit card, debit card, or PayPal, and the whole process is extremely simple and completely safe. In fact, it's far more secure than using your credit card at a restaurant or a mall. Once you enter your payment details, you will be instantly taken to a download page, where you will be given immediate access to the complete Hypnotic Body Language Moves program along with the bonuses. Good enough? Alright, now we're at a stage where you need to make a choice, and you only have 2 choices. The first choice, leave this page, completely forget everything you heard or saw. Assume I never told you about Hypnotic Body Language Moves and let the next woman take advantage of this rare opportunity. By doing this, you'll instantly know that it was the worst mistake of your life, because you might never get to experience what it's like to have a man look upon you with pure desire for hours and hours. And although it makes me really sad to say this, you might never ever experience the true love you've always desired. Sounds awful, right? Well, it doesn't have to be, because you could make the completely painless, smart, and the most correct choice, which is the second choice by clicking the Add to Cart button below and enrolling in the Hypnotic Body Language Moves program right now. Once you do that, you can finally sit back, relax, and enjoy as any man you use these moves on feels so obsessed with you that he'll call, cry, beg, and do everything for just a moment of your attention. And you understand that you have full 60 days to test drive this program. Therefore, you are at absolutely zero risk. The whole course is extremely fun and ridiculously easy. I am really not kidding. Even if you don't go through the whole course and only casually scan it, your life will be changed forever. And honestly, if you're thinking about coming back to this offer some other time, then you'll be kicking yourself with regret for many years to come because you might not be able to get it at all. In fact, here are 3 huge reasons why you absolutely must act right now. Reason number 1, you don't have to shell out $300 per hour like other women had to, and you're actually getting everything for $39, which is a little fraction of the price everyone else had to pay, and on top of that, you're getting 3 super bonuses worth $111 just for acting right now. Reason number 2, You basically aren't losing anything because Sharon is putting her financial security on the line for you. She is accepting all the risk on your behalf by letting you test drive this system for a full 60 days. Reason number 3. The biggest reason why I think you just can't afford to delay this even one more second is because Sharon fears that women in her group are going to find out about this crazy offer. And she doesn't want them feeling pissed off because they had to pay $300 an hour for something you only have to pay $39. She will have to close this offer sooner or later. I know I've said a lot, but let me just say one final thing. In whatever little time we've had together, I have shown you 3 very important things. The first thing, I've shown you that by using simple moves, you can easily make any man confess that you're the most devastatingly beautiful woman he's ever seen. The second thing, I've also shown you that these moves are called hypnotic body language moves, and you can get access to them literally 5 minutes from now by clicking the Add to Cart button below. And finally, the third thing, you can also understand and agree that these moves don't really need you to do any hard work. In fact, the only work you have to do is use these hypnotic moves around a man and watch him feel mesmerized by you to the point of madness. So now, since you agree with all these points, don't you think it's a good idea to at least try out this program? I mean, what do you have to lose anyway? With the risk-free guarantee, you get 60 full days to test drive this program. Therefore, you have absolutely nothing to lose. And once again, I could go on, but I believe you've heard enough. So go hit that Add to Cart button below and I'll see you on the inside.